So we are having multiple moments of fun over these 9 months, and today's focus of fun is to honor some lay people among us who have made such an impact over time that it just seems really fitting at our 50th anniversary to lift them up and to give them thanks. And so I want to invite Jeannie to come up and, I was going to say help me, but really I'm helping her. So, my dear, thank you again, and the microphone is yours, and give us a treat.
Okay, well, before I introduce these three people that we are honoring, I just have to say it's with a sense of awe that we honor these lay persons that have given a combined 140 years of continuous loving service to God and this church. And I think that's something to be really blessed. Okay. All right, here goes our first one. On a Monday morning in 1978, both of our pastors, Al Ludington and Lee Truman, just happened to be in the office on their day off in their jeans and tennis shoes when a visitor walked in the door. Sometime later, she left the office. Carol Ames knew she had found the church that she and Steve had been looking for. It is difficult to wrap your head around how a wife, mother of 2 young daughters, Krista and Karen, and working as an ICU nurse at Los Robles Hospital could possibly serve in so many areas in her 41 years as a member of this church. For starters, she served as a worship chairperson for many years before switching to the music ministry, serving in the following areas. She was a member of 3 choirs, the Chancel Choir, Celebration Singers, and Handbells, even obtaining her bus driver's license and driving the entire bell choir to Sacramento for a concert. Yeah. She was co-chair of the music committee, making her an automatic member of the church council, and she's still on that council too. A member of the Westlake Village Music Society for the last 27 years, working with Gloria, arranging 2 to 4 Sunday afternoon concerts per year. Administrative director of the Pizzazz Music Camp since its first year in 1993, coordinating every detail from the publicity to the final Friday night concert. Of course, being a nurse, Carol has been involved in the AED program, offering, publicizing, and coordinating first aid, CPR, and AED training classes. Since 2002, she has been our historian as communications coordinator, keeping us informed of events and articles in our monthly newsletter, as well as our church website, social media, and press releases. She is our unofficial photographer, camera always ready at events that have been included in the ministry pages of our pictorial directories throughout the years. Carol, thank you for all the hundreds of hours in preserving the memories of our church history.
Carol. Congratulations. This is well deserved. You've done it with grace all these years.
Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "The purpose of life is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well." That certainly is true of our next honoree. A quiet, dedicated charter member, Leroy Friel, along with his wife Millie, raised their 2 children, Tina and David, in this church. Before accepting the position of treasurer in 1973, Lee served as a trustee. Among his many tasks was one that he took up on himself, which was of driving into the valley, sometimes weekly, to have the broken above-ground sprinklers repaired due to the fact that people walking along Hampshire Road deliberately kicked the heads, breaking them off. When Lee accepted the position of treasurer 3 years later, everything was done on paper. His first computer was an H89 Heathkit with 3 very small disk drives, but no hard drive. Lee himself built the second one, another Heath kit with a small hard drive, finally upgrading to a commercial computer due to the growing number of accounts. Lee is still our treasurer today, quietly coming into the church office to check his mailbox for expense reimbursement requests or issuing staff paychecks. Thank you, Lee, for the thousands of checks you have written and for the integrity of the position that you have so lovingly given over the past 50 years.
There you go. Well, you're just as embarrassed as can be, aren't you? Being in front of everybody and going through this. God bless you. Thank you for the years of service to your church and God.
Our third honoree, singer, songwriter, and pianist, Jane Chapman, began studying piano at the age of 5. Her teacher was the organist at the Methodist Church. Throughout her high school years, she studied under a graduate of the Juilliard School of Music. In her years as a charter member, Jane has the honor of singing in chancel choir longer than anyone, 49 years to be exact. And for 20 of those years, she has accompanied the Melody Makers Choir, watching eager little souls learn the joy of music. In 1994, a collection of 16 anthems and songs for which Jane had written the lyrics were compiled in conjunction with our 25th anniversary and were a result of her combined passions for music and the written word. The most fun Jane said she's ever had serving the church has been the Fanny and Prunelli skits with her own sidekick, Pat Bevan, in the many Methodist Madness variety shows she chaired, along with Gloria, to bring crazy good fun, lots of laughter to all of us, and some helpful funds to the music program. Over the years, we all have enjoyed the perfect pitch trio of Jane, Gloria, and Susan. Whenever an anthem has required it, Jane has occasionally played flute to accompany chancel choir or the handbells. She has also filled in on the piano at our women's retreats. 1970. A coincidence? Don and Jane were awaiting the birth of their first child, Kirsten, just as they were taking part in the birth of a new church, the church which Jane says has been their haven of faith ever since. Thank you, Jane, for the joy of music you have brought into all of our lives.
Well, thank you, Jeannie. Recipients, again, we thank you for your years of service to the church. I think we know that these are things that you've done that you've enjoyed, but the fact that you've done them for the good of all of us here and for the good of God is particularly important. And we thank you for what may, on some occasions, been some sacrificial service on behalf of God and the church. You've been a blessing to all of us over these years, and as we honor them, we also think about, well, maybe we'll make this a tradition, and each fall lift someone up who also has made a major impact in the life of our church. That might be a nice thing to do. Well, blessings upon the three of you, and again, congratulations.